Here's how you can make kunafe. It's a popular dessert in Palestine and it consists of dough, cheese, and a simple syrup. To get started, let's grab a baking tray and evenly spread clarified butter all over the bottom. Optionally, you can also add some orange food coloring. Now this is kunafe dough. It's almost similar to a shredded phyllo pastry dough, and you just want to add that on top. Then you can add your Nablus cheese, and if you don't have Nablus cheese, you can use any fresh mozzarella. I got the ingredients and the recipe from my good friends at Kunafas. It's a local Palestinian owned kunafe shop, and this is all they do. After spending some time here, I think I got the hang of it, so let's head back into the kitchen and put the stove on low to medium heat and continue to rotate this for about 15 minutes. You know it's ready when you poke it and you hear a crisp. Cover this for 5 minutes and then carefully flip it, and now you can drizzle on your simple syrup, which consists of sugar, water, and lemon juice. Garnish with pistachios, and that's pretty much it. Enjoy the cheese pull. Here's how you can make
Knafeh Kulfi.
Kulfi. Is basically like ice cream.
It's very popular in the Pakistan, my friend.
And you know it's my cheat day.
And mine too. Heat up the pan. Then we're going to add in the ghee butter. I add some food coloring. Now I'm gonna add the phyllo pastry. Now I put on the cool black glove and mix it up. We want the whole thing to be nice and vibrant orange.
On medium heat, let's add whole milk.
My friend, what kind of milk is that?
Whole buffalo milk.
Water buffalo? How do you milk a wild buffalo?
You gotta be fast.
This guy has got some weird stuff, my friends. Abbas, he milks the cow.
Heavy cream, milk solids, and sweetened condensed milk. And mix this down until everything comes together.
Nablus cheese. Palestine cheese. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It is great.
And now let's mix it up until everything is nice and melted. Into a saucepan, let's add some water.
The sukkar.
That shouldn't hurt it. Sukkar. Some crushed cardamom pods.
Squeeze of lemon.
And lastly, just a tiny drop of rose water. And you want to let this come to a boil and thicken up just so it's a nice syrup. So we're still trying to figure out how we will actually execute the Knafeh Kulfi. I was thinking we freeze the kulfi mixture with the phyllo pastry.
I was suggesting that we wrap the phyllo pastry over the kulfi. It's like a clump of hair, my friend. And then we deep fry it. Which one will be better? We're gonna get the nice hot phyllo pastry and then the creamy kulfi melting right inside our mouths. It's gonna be nice and creamy and sweet and flavorful, and just the texture of the crispy phyllo pastry. My friend, which one do you want to try?
Okay, let's just go with that one.
Saran wrap it, make sure it's nice and tight and right, then freeze it. Then when it's frozen, then we deep fry it.
That's a much better plan.
The best in the West?
It's quite good. I don't know if it's the best in the West, but it's good.
It's very nice. It's like I'm eating Knafeh and kulfi at the same time, my friend. Your innovation!
Out of 10?
9.6.
Here's how you can make kunafe. It's a popular dessert in Palestine and it consists of dough, cheese, and a simple syrup. To get started, let's grab a tray and add clarified butter with a bit of orange food coloring and spread evenly. Now this is the kunafe dough, which has all-purpose flour, water, simple syrup, salt, a bit of milk powder, and clarified butter. And this is Nablus cheese. It's kind of like a mozzarella. I got the ingredients and recipe from my good friends at Kunafas, which is a Palestinian-owned kunafe shop, and this is pretty much all they do. After spending some time here, I think I got the hang of it, so let's head back into the kitchen and let's put the stove on low to medium heat and begin cooking the kunafe. Rotate this every couple of minutes for about 15 minutes and then cover it for 5. Carefully soak up any liquid from the cheese. I almost ruined it here. Sprinkle on a little bit more of the flour mixture, flip and drizzle on a simple syrup which has water, sugar, and lemon juice. So my favorite kunafe is the crispy kind, and I made that last time, but this is the soft version of kunafe, also known as na'am. Outside of kulfi, kunafe is definitely on my top 3 favorite desserts. Let's try making Knafeh Chocolate. Kunafe is a popular dessert in Palestine, and we're basically taking some of the flavors of kunafe and putting it in a chocolate bar. I don't know if it's going to be good, but let's give it a shot. We'll start by drizzling orange colored chocolate into a mold and also drizzling 1 layer of milk chocolate at the bottom and freezing it. Next, she's going to mix some butter with kunafe dough, which is almost like a phyllo pastry, and baking that until it's golden brown. Next, she'll blend a whole bunch of pistachios for like 30 minutes until it turns into this beautiful pistachio paste, which is then mixed into the baked kunafe dough. Oh, that's way better than peanut butter. Now here's the cool part. She'll take this pistachio kunafe dough mixture and fill it in the frozen chocolate molds, then take another layer of chocolate and spread it on top to seal it. Now it just needs to be frozen so everything is set, and then it can be popped out and trimmed. Yeah, that works. It's like pistachios and chocolate, which already works. It's a nice crunch on the inside. If I had to rate this, it's not better than Knafeh by itself. I like Knafeh on its own, but the Knafeh chocolate is a good creation. I would have to give this one maybe an 8.9 out of 10. It's really good.
Pizza did not necessarily come from Italy, but it came from the Middle East.
No way.
It came from Persia.
What was the first pizza that was ever made?
Similar to what you see in Menaish, like it is a flatbread, Persian style toppings, Persian style ingredients. Very simple. You gotta fact check me on.
I will. Here's how you can make
Palestinian pizza. It's a chicken and rice dish on top of the pizza. Mine is the chicken and rice. Pretty standard pizza dough. The dough itself comes out as a focaccia. So our brine is a combination of salt, olive oil, and water. We let it sit for about 12 hours. It's half baked. We replicated a lot of the dishes and flavors that I grew up eating as a Palestinian. One of them being Maqluba. We put our garlic in there, a lot of eggplant, cauliflower that's roasted with the baharat, the spices that you get in Maqluba, cherry tomatoes, cheese, and then some lebnik creme, which has the 7 spices in it.
So it's almost like pizza, but it's also not pizza at the same time.
It's like pizza, but it's not pizza.
Here's how you can make Sahlab. This is a popular drink in Palestine and is commonly had during the winter months. To get started, let's grab a saucepan and add whole milk, a splash of vanilla, cornstarch, and this is called mastika, which is a resin, and it kind of smells like pine, and this is Sahlab powder, which comes from an orchard. Now you just gotta mix everything together until it thickens up. I got the recipe from my friend Ali, who manages Kunafas, which is a Palestinian-owned Knafeh shop, and this is where I first had it.
I remember when I used to go to school, I used to go to the Sahlab guy. He has a cart on the street, and I get my ka'ik. Ka'ik means it's like a biscuit. Buy Sahlab and dip it and eat it as a breakfast.
Now, unlike Kulfi, you don't want this to be really thick, just a little bit like this. Lastly, add a splash of orange blossom essence, and you're good to go. The closest thing I can compare this to is maybe an eggnog, but it's not really eggy, and it's probably a bit better too. And if you want to help donate to the innocent civilians, the link is in my bio. Let's try a Knafeh Donut. So I saw this as a comment. It does like 1,000 layers of crunch to each bite. And Knafeh is a popular dessert in Palestine, and I thought to myself, you know what, this might just work. And it all starts with the Knafeh dough. It's pretty much like a phyllo pastry. So she'll wrap this up in this little donut mold and then cover it with clarified butter or ghee. And then bake this at 375 for about 15 minutes until it's golden brown. And to make sure it's not going to be soaked in complete fat, we're just going to drain off some of the excess clarified butter and replace that with complete sugar. So this is just a simple syrup made with sugar and water, and we'll let this soak in all of that sweetness. For the cream filling, this is called gishta, which is basically a mixture of milk, cream, vanilla, clarified butter, and ricotta cheese. And with our piping bag, let's carefully pipe in some of our cream and then close it on top with another piece of the donut or the Knafeh dough, whatever you want to call this. It kind of looks like a sandwich too. And then just top it off with a bit more cream, garnish with pistachios, and that's pretty much it. She's also going to be making a Biscoff one with some cookie crumbs as a garnish, and she'll also make one with Nutella with some hazelnuts on top. Much love to my buddies at Kunafas for even attempting this. I'm pretty happy with the end product. Alright, which one do you want to try?
I'm gonna try the Biscoff one.
Crunchy, yeah? I thought it was going to be too heavy because there's just so much of the dough, but it's not. It's actually light. Out of 10, what would you give this?
I give it a 9.
Yeah, it's up there. Yeah.
It's up there. It is up there.
Let's make Palestinian rack of lamb. I know Chef Ramsay likes his herb crusted rack of lamb, and this is similar because we're using a dried herb spice blend called za'atar, which is popular in Palestine. Let's start by grabbing our rack of lamb and scoring it in a crisscross motion and seasoning it with salt and pepper. In a hot cast iron skillet, let's add some oil and get color on all sides of our rack of lamb. Then you can baste it with butter and pop it in the oven at 400 for about 7 minutes. In the meantime, you can grab your za'atar, which has thyme, coriander, fennel, and sesame seeds, salt, and sumac. Grab your rack of lamb out of the oven and spread on yellow mustard to act as a binder for the za'atar. Make sure you sprinkle and pat down every nook and cranny so no part of the lamb is left uncovered. Shake some of the excess off, and finally back in the oven at 400 for about 10 minutes. Carefully slice and enjoy. I forgot to turn my mic on, but let me tell you, these spices work so well with the lamb. I'm giving this a 9.3 out of 10. Here's how you can make Qatayef. It's a popular dessert in Palestine during Ramadan, and it's kind of reminding me of a pizza pocket and a cannoli. It's basically a pancake filled with the cream and cheese filling that's then deep fried and soaked in a simple syrup. So I can't even eat this right now because I'm fasting, so I gotta wait until after sunset, but let's see how they make it. To make the pancake batter, they'll combine AP flour, semolina flour, baking powder, baking soda, vanilla, yeast, and sugar, and mix it with water. It's then cooked on a flat top but only on one side. To make the filling, also known as kishta, it's a mix between milk, cream, vanilla, and clarified butter that's then mixed with ricotta.
A lot of people from front of their houses, they take tables outside, grills like this, they make the mix and they sell it to the neighbors.
Yeah, so like everyone does it.
Everyone.
Yeah, that's cool. Is it more popular than kunafa?
In Ramadan, yes. Yeah. When you see Ramadan, just right away, a picture in your mind, this.
After the pancakes are filled and closed shut, they are deep fried for about 10 minutes and then soaked in a simple syrup and garnished with pistachios. That's pretty much it. Alright, it's sunset. Let's see how this tastes. It's just a sweet soaked pancake with a nice cheese filling. It's not overpoweringly sweet. The only thing sweet really is the syrup. I would have to give this a solid 8.9 out of 10. Knafeh is like a 9.6 for me, like it's really up there, but this is definitely up there too. Here's how you can make Maqluba.
So this is a Palestinian dish that translates to upside down. If done correctly, the eggplant, cauliflower, chicken, and rice should stay together.
Yeah? No?
Yeah, almost. Almost. My mom cooked it all the time. She passed away, and then I taught myself how to make it over the past 10 years or so. I use basmati rice.
And is that what people usually use back home too?
We love basmati rice. Yeah. Any good Middle Eastern mom will tell you to rinse your rice. Slicing some eggplants, a little bit of olive oil, and then we're also gonna do the same thing with the cauliflower. So here we took a whole chicken, some peppercorns, bay leaf. I like to put an onion in there. We're gonna boil it for about 20 minutes to cook the chicken a little bit, but also to make some delicious chicken broth. Arabic 7-spice or baharat, just a little bit of cinnamon. Palestinian cuisine definitely uses a lot of turmeric, allspice, and black pepper. I like to add a little bit of tomatoes, the eggplant layers, chicken thighs, and breast. Add the rice. It's not gonna cover it perfectly with water because you got all the vegetables underneath. We're just gonna put this on high till it boils, and then we're gonna reduce the temperature down to simmer about 40 to 50 minutes until the rice is perfectly cooked. This is nearly done. Just put a clean towel, seal the pot again, and let it sit for like 5-10 minutes. So you always wanna serve it with a little bit of yogurt.
It almost reminds me of a pulao. And I think what makes it similar is because you guys actually cook the rice in the same broth of the meat, right?
Mm-hmm. My grandmother was a master cook. She knew how to make Maqluba to perfection, Knafeh to perfection, all Palestinian dishes. God bless them all.